I've always hiked solo. There's a quiet freedom in the wilderness, no schedules, no signal, just you and the trail. In late September 2022, I set out for a 3-day loop in the Kumaon Hills of Uttarakhand, India. It was a rugged trail I'd read about on a trekking forum, moderately challenging with dense forests and sweeping views of the Himalayas. I'd done similar routes before, so I packed light, a tarp, a small stove, and a map. On the second day, around noon, I stumbled into a clearing near a rocky outcrop. It wasn't on my map, unnaturally circular, about 50 feet wide, with a stone fire pit at the center and 5 weathered logs arranged like seats. A crude, moss-covered bench sat off to one side. I decided to stop for lunch, setting up my stove to heat water for tea and slicing some paratha. As I worked, a figure approached. A man, maybe late 20s, lean, with a faded green kurta and heavy wool pants unsuitable for the warm season. His backpack was old, patched with duct tape and cluttered with tied-on gear, a dented steel tumbler, a rolled-up shawl, and a small axe dangling from a strap. His eyes were sharp but distant, like he'd been out here too long. He gave a quick nod and asked in broken Hindi if he could rest nearby. I shrugged. Public land, after all. He sat across the fire pit, pulling out a tin of dal and some stale roti. We exchanged small talk. Where we were from, how long we'd been trekking, the chance of rain. Then his tone shifted. He spoke of hearing whispers in the forest at night, like voices calling from the ridges. Once, he said, something scratched at his tent but left no tracks. He avoided camping near streams, claiming things lingered there. His voice was steady, almost instructional, not like someone spinning tales. I nodded, uneasy. You meet odd types in the wild sometimes. People who've let the solitude sink too deep. I packed up quickly, saying I wanted to cover more ground before dark. He smiled thinly and said, "Walk carefully." I trekked an hour off trail to a secluded spot, flat, hidden by thick pines far from any path. I pitched my tarp, ate cold food to avoid a fire, and settled into my sleeping bag. His talk of whispers clung to me, especially the way he'd chuckled, low and unsettling, when he mentioned them. Past midnight, I jolted awake. At first, I thought it was the chill, but then I heard it. A faint, broken laugh not far off. It wasn't steady, just bursts, like someone stifling it. It sounded too much like his laugh. My heart raced. Then came footsteps, soft and deliberate, circling nearby. I gripped my knife, frozen. The laughter stopped. Silence stretched, heavy and thick. Then, a sound. A zipper, not mine, maybe 15 feet away. A quick pull, like someone testing it. A faint rustle followed, then a brush against my tarp, just as he'd described. Once, twice, then nothing. I stayed still, knife in hand, until exhaustion pulled me under. At dawn, I checked outside. Near a tree, 10 feet from my tarp, was a fresh ring of stones. A small fire pit that hadn't been there. In it, cold ash, a charred cloth scrap, and what looked like a bird's spine. I broke camp fast, hiking back to my bike on the forest road without stopping. I never saw him again. I didn't tell anyone. Who'd believe it? A week later, I tried another solo trek, this time in the Garhwal region, craving the reset only the mountains give. I picked an obscure trail near Gangotri, unmarked on modern maps but mentioned in an old trekking guide. I parked my bike at a village trailhead and hiked 6 miles into dense forest, setting up a tarp shelter near a rocky ridge. No one else was around, no vehicles, no tracks, just silence. On day 2, I descended toward a valley, aiming for a loop back to higher ground. Midday, I found a clearing, too perfect, an oval of bare earth 40 feet across with no undergrowth. In the center, a fire pit with fresh ash and 8 flat stones arranged like a council circle. It felt wrong, like a place meant to be avoided. I snapped a quick photo and moved on, unsettled. Back at my camp by 3 p.m., I noticed a small rock in my cookpot. Placed, not fallen. I'm meticulous with my gear. This wasn't mine. Then I saw footprints, not mine, larger, in heavy boots, circling my tarp once before trailing off into the brush. I relocated at dusk, half a mile away, tucking my tarp into thick rhododendrons. I skipped a fire, ate cold rice, and listened as darkness fell. Around 1 a.m., I woke to twigs snapping, slow, careful steps, maybe 20 feet away. Then, heavy breathing, deliberate, like someone trying not to be heard. A faint scrape followed, metal or wood on bark. I clutched my knife, heart pounding, staying silent. The sound stopped after minutes, then footsteps faded, unhurried. At first light, I packed and left. No breakfast, no delays. Halfway to the trailhead, a single sharp crack echoed behind me, like a branch snapped intentionally. I didn't look back. Later, I checked my photo of the clearing. In the background, barely visible among the trees, was a figure, still watching. I zoomed in. The outline was clear, but the face wasn't. I don't hike solo anymore. If you find a clearing like that, don't stop, don't photograph it. Just leave. Because if you're there, something else might be too.